Have you ever noticed the adjustable power level buttons on your microwave? If you're like most people, you've probably overlooked them the entire time that you've had it. Think about it. You wouldn't cook every type of dish on your stovetop or in your oven on one single heat setting. Would you simmer grandma's Sunday gravy on high? Would you blast a souffle in the oven at 450? Are you a souffle blaster? No, the same principle applies to microwaving. Using different power levels allows you to have more control over your cooking, resulting in perfectly, evenly cooked meals just to your liking. Power levels on a microwave are represented as a percentage of its maximum power output, which is usually around 1000 watts for most household microwaves. So a high heat, power level 10 would be full power, typically the default setting. That's around 1000 watts. A medium high heat would be around 70 to 80% of that. Medium heat, power level 5 is around 50% at 500 watts. That means the waves cooking your meal are active inside only half the time, which creates a slower, gentler cook. Traditional microwaves will turn the magnetron, the component that produces the waves that cook your food, on and off intermittently to bring the power output down, allowing food to cook at a slower rate. Other microwaves with inverter technology, the ones that are stronger than their wattage would suggest, they can adjust the power level in real time, delivering a constant lower level of microwave energy as needed without shutting the magnetron off and on. Bonus to inverter technology, this ends up cooking and reheating your food much more evenly at lower power levels, and it also reduces energy waste by avoiding the need to repeatedly start and stop the magnetron. Once we start getting down to that lower heat level, say 30 to 40% of maximum power, we're getting into the defrost button territory. This is the preset energy level when you press that defrost button. Using this lower level of power helps to thaw frozen food more evenly without partially overcooking the edges of the food, which, if you've experienced it, can be pretty gross. With the right power levels, you can actually fully cook a meal all the way from frozen. Unbelievable. Let's take a look at this in action with the perfect food to demonstrate how power levels work: poached eggs. Okay, this is a really simple, albeit a little bit gross experiment. Each of these eggs was cooked for 4.5 minutes at different power levels. This is power level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on, all the way up to level 10. This is a 1200 watt microwave, and as you can see, the results vary a whole lot. Here is basically raw. Power level 1, almost zero cooking. Power level 2, the whites are turning white, but this is definitely not something you'd want to serve to anybody. Power level 3 starts to look a little bit normal, but power level 4 really hit that sweet spot of runny yolk, set white. Power level 5 was also somewhat acceptable. Power level 6 stops being runny altogether, and 7 is where you start to see these warning signs. This is scorched on top. I've never seen a poached egg with a black yolk before, and that warning sign culminated in this disaster: an exploded egg. Those explosions just got more and more violent as the power level went up. You would never really want to go past 6, especially 7. It is worth noting that to do this whole experiment and get all these eggs cooked, it took like 10 minutes, so these have been sitting out for quite some time. When I cut into these, it's going to be a little bit more cooked than what you would get at home, but still, I want to show you. Here we go, number 4. Oh, no way. So as you can see, this one looks nice and jammy, something that you would want to serve at brunch. Over here, we start to get a little bit overcooked, and over here, I mean, come on, what are you going to do? Ridiculous. Power level 2. It's not working for me. Check out power level 6. That is not what we would call a poached egg. And what's going on with this coloring over here? Ooh. Number 5. This is looking like a hard-boiled egg, definitely not poached. So you might have been ignoring the power level on your microwave this entire time, but hopefully this explains exactly why it's so important to pay attention. You can even actually fully cook delicious, tender chicken breast in your microwave. But it's important to remember that power levels matter, especially when cooking meat. At level 10 or 100% power, it would get done super fast, but it would be harder to nail that perfect cook time, so there's a higher risk of the chicken coming out overly dry. The ideal level for chicken is around power level 6, about 60% power for 9 to 11 minutes. I like using Anyday's medium shallow dish so that I know the lid will keep the chicken moist and juicy by effectively trapping all that steam. In the mood for seafood? Try salmon fillets. Yes, in the microwave. Just adjust your power level to level 5 or 50% power and cook for 5 to 6 minutes until it flakes easily. Notice that with microwave cooking, we didn't have to use any added cooking oil, so not only is this faster than other methods, it's also healthier. Maybe you want some rice with your chicken or salmon. Just be sure to turn the power levels down even more for this. When preparing grains of any kind, you'll need to adjust your power level to 4 or lower, or else you run the risk of the water overflowing and then burning the rice. About 20 minutes later, you will have perfect fluffy rice. All right, now that you have mastered your microwave's power levels, you are more than ready to go cook a tasty and healthy meal in less time and with less cleanup than any stovetop or conventional oven cooking. Give this channel a follow for more information about cooking with a microwave, and don't forget to check out cookanyday.com for hundreds of microwave recipes. Thanks for watching Microwave Mastery.